Ladies and gentlemen, ACC conference play is officially here. Yes, you heard that correctly. Week number 3 is upon us of the college football season. In today's video, we of course are going to be predicting the ACC games this week. We're going to talk about them, break them down. I'll give my thoughts on each game and obviously predict a winner in today's video. But first, if you are new to the channel, you already know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Like I said in the last video, if you guys watched it, World Cup 2026 tickets have officially gone on sale. Single game tickets are now on sale for everybody. So go out there, get your tickets if you're going to any of the World Cup games. Cannot wait for the World Cup in summer of 2026. Now, week number 3 of the college football season is upon us, and it is time to predict these ACC week number 3 matchups. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, starting us off here on Thursday, we do have a Thursday game in the ACC. It is NC State going into Wake Forest. This one is definitely a ACC game. Last week, obviously, we had NC State, Virginia, thinking it was an ACC game. However, it was a non-conference game for the most part, as NC State does go into Virginia. This is going to be a fun one, guys. NC State and Virginia was a really good game last week. NC State, Wake Forest is going to be another one that's really good. I'm looking at Robbie Ashford to lead the way for Wake Forest if there's any hope that they get the job done. I don't think there's any hope for them. I think NC State's going to win this game pretty single-handedly, if you're asking me. However, this is going to be a great test, and we will see if Wake Forest will be legit in this ACC conference with them starting out possibly 3-0 on the year and 1-0 in conference play. However, I just think that NC State's going to get the job done thanks to their quarterback. They have the better playmakers on offense. The defense did hold Virginia on that final drive last week. I'm expecting the defense to come up huge in this matchup, as NC State will get the win on Thursday night. Moving on, we have Colgate going into Syracuse. I don't know, man. Syracuse not looking so hot right now. Last week, losing to UConn in overtime. This is Colgate, though. They should be able to get the job done. Colgate is 0-2 on the year. Syracuse is 1-1. However, records don't really mean anything when these small school teams are going into a big-time program with a chip on their shoulder like Syracuse. This is going to be a fun one. Definitely one to keep track on Friday night. It's a little bit of a weird feeling as well with it being on Friday night. I just think that Syracuse is going to get the job done, though, at home against Colgate because they are in the ACC and because they are the better team, if you are asking my opinion. Moving on to Saturday, we have a great game to kick off ACC play on Saturday. Clemson going into Georgia Tech. I believe Haynes King is still injured for this Georgia Tech squad, so they're going to be without him for the majority of this game. Clemson, though, struggled against Troy. Maybe they will struggle on the road. This is a road game for Clemson. However, it's on a Saturday, so nothing really there. Clemson's 1-1. Georgia Tech is 2-0 after beating Colorado in their opener, which was a banger of a matchup. Now, this is going to be another one and another really good test for Georgia Tech to see, with the loss of Eric Singleton, how good this wide receiver core really is and if they can compete in this ACC conference. This is going to be a fun one. I have it being a close matchup, like a 27-24 type of game. However, I think Cade Klubnik will prove why he is one of the better quarterbacks in this year's draft class in this matchup, as Clemson will get the win, but it's going to be a close one on the road in Atlanta. Moving on, we got William & Mary going into Virginia. Give me Virginia. I know they lost to NC State, and that was because of NC State's defense, but give me Virginia, as they will definitely bounce back at home against William & Mary. Again, another FCS-level school that is playing a Power 4 school where Virginia should be able to get the job done at home. So give me the Cavaliers, as they will get the job done. SMU, Missouri State, give me SMU. I know they just got upset by Baylor, knocking them out of the top 25, but they got to have a huge bounce back this week if they want to make the college football playoff again. I don't think they should have been there last year. I think it should have been in South Carolina. However, they are proving everybody right now, as SMU should be able to get the job done, though, on the road at Missouri State. Another one that is going to be an absolute banger of an ACC matchup. We got a lot of really good ACC games this week, and we'll talk about the main one, which is Miami and South Florida, here in a second. However, this is going to be a really interesting one if you're asking me. Pittsburgh, Wake Forest. Yes, these two schools, not too terribly good. Obviously, they're both off to really good starts as Pittsburgh is 2-0, and of course, West Virginia is 1-1. But Pittsburgh should be able to get the job done. I like Pittsburgh on the road. West Virginia does have some quarterback problems to figure out right now, as Pat McAfee did talk about that earlier as well. However, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on the road. I just think that they are by far the better team and should be able to get the job done there to open up their conference play, or to open up against a really tough Big 12 team. However, I think that Pittsburgh will get the job done on the road at West Virginia. Richmond, going into North Carolina, Bill Belichick and Gio Lopez and company hosting Richmond, looking to get off to a 2-1 start. I think they do. Again, not a whole lot to talk about here. This is an FCS level school playing against, of course, North Carolina. I think North Carolina will get the job done. They should be able to get the job done at home against Richmond. Moving on. The main event this weekend in ACC conference play, if you're asking me, South Florida, Miami. We know what happened with South Florida on Saturday, where Byron Brown looked elite. I'm expecting the same type of quarterback play. This game is going to be a very fun matchup, if you're asking me. Two quarterbacks that are really good. Miami obviously having the better skill players overall, like the wide receiver position group is better, the running back group is better, but I think Byron Brown is definitely going to be and hang in there with Miami. South Florida is off to a 2-0 start, just like Miami is. Obviously, walking into the swamp last week and beating them does help a lot, and South Florida could potentially get this upset win. However, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Carson Beck is going to come out slinging the football this week. I think that Miami is going to absolutely destroy South Florida, and everybody will stop talking about it this week as the Hurricanes will move on to 3-0 on the year. Old Dominion, Virginia Tech. This is another one of a little bit of a doozy, right? Virginia Tech, 0-2 to start the year. Old Dominion, 1-1. This is going to be a very interesting matchup to see if Virginia Tech can bounce back against that blowout loss to Vanderbilt. We're not going to talk about that right now because we're going to break that down in our SEC reaction video. However, I think Virginia Tech does, and I think that they will get the job done at home against Old Dominion single-handedly. They should at least be able to. Duke, going into Tulane, another really interesting matchup. This is going to be a good test for Tulane, who is expected to make the college football playoff, or expected to at least be in that discussion to make the college football playoff, along with USF right now and Boise State. Tulane walking into South Alabama. South took them down in like the final minute or so of the game. Obviously, did not turn out how we wanted it, but Tulane, they get the job done, 2-0 on the year. Duke, they played a really good game against Illinois. However, it was, of course, the offense that shot themselves in the foot. I think Duke wins this matchup. I'm not going to be shocked if Tulane does get the job done, though, because they're expected to compete. If Duke doesn't shoot themselves in the foot, they will win this game. And I think that they will go on to, of course, 2-1 on the season. Minnesota going into Cal, wrapping up ACC play this weekend. Give me California. I know I said it, but I think that they are going to be really tough and a really underrated team in this ACC conference, as they will get the job done at home against Minnesota. And then to wrap us all up, little ACC night action for you guys. Boston College versus Stanford. A lot of people talking about Stanford like they might be the real deal in this ACC with Andrew Luck coming back, trying to rebuild the program. Could potentially top off some of these teams here. Upsets, all of that stuff. However, I don't think that they do. I think Boston College walks in there and beats them at home to wrap us up in ACC play. But you guys, let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts about my predictions in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn that bell on, as we do our best to post on this channel every single day. Thank you all so much for watching this one. I'll see you all in the next one.